Hello everybody, today back in another video. Alright, my tennis fans on the world. It was a couple of weeks ago I did a video. I've been extremely busy with family, work, etc. But today I'm actually free from work, so I thought to myself, let's do a video. Let's talk tennis. And what is better to talk about tennis than the biggest tennis tournaments in the world? What is better to talk than the biggest events in tennis, the World Cup of tennis? And which are the World Cup of tennis, my tennis friends all the world? It is of course the four biggest events that we have, which are the Grand Slams, Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon and US Open. This is the World Cup of tennis. Even casual tennis fans knows about who is the four biggest tennis tournaments in the world. And the title to this video today is who will win the Grand Slams in 2025. I actually did a video about this topic last year. I actually do this, I don't know if I've done it every year, I don't think so, but I know that I've done it last year. And last year I got right, completely right, about one player. Or, of course, 1.5 right, all right, if I can be 100% honest. I was wrong about Djokovic. I said that in last year's video, when I did who will win the Grand Slams in 2024, I mentioned Alcaraz, he will win. I mentioned Djokovic, I said he will win. And I mentioned Sinner, I was mentioning last. I mentioned Sinner's name last, and I said about him, he maybe will win. We need to see him first play a Grand Slam final, because at that point 12 months ago he had never played the Grand Slam final in his career. And when I did that video, it was just a couple of weeks before the Australian Open, and bam, just 2-3 weeks later he proved me wrong, and he played his first Grand Slam final and he won it also, like we all know. So I was right about Alcaraz, I was half right about Sinner, I was completely wrong about Djokovic. Because, and Djokovic, I had him as the favorite at Australian Open last year, or earlier this year, because this year is not ended yet, it is still 2024. So that was the last time I had Djokovic as my number one favorite, my number one pick, which was at Australian Open 2024. After that, I have never had Djokovic as my number one pick, all right? And I didn't have him as my number one pick at French Open. I didn't have him as my number one pick at Wimbledon. I didn't have him as number one pick at US Open. And he proved me right in all of those three Grand Slams: French Open, Wimbledon, and US Open. And let's be honest, my tennis fans all over the world, tennis is all about the slams. Of course, the other tournaments are also important. We all know that. But the biggest points, the biggest prize money, the biggest attention, it is in the Grand Slams. There, it is there the players want to play their best. It is there the players want to perform their best. It is there the players are motivated as the most, especially the high top ranked players. And winning Grand Slams, it is not everybody who can do that. We have had some one-hit wonders over the years, and the most of them has come actually at US Open. Just at the top of my head, I can count 5: Roddick, Del Potro, Cilic, Thiem, and Medvedev. All these 5 all are one-hit wonders. 4 of them have retired. We have only one of these 5 that are still playing, which is Dan Medvedev. But I don't think Dan Medvedev will win any more Grand Slam in his career. I think that he will be also one-hit wonder. I've said this many times in my previous videos, who follow my channel. I just think that he has had his peak or prime, or call it what you want. You guys, you have to understand one thing. Tennis players have their primes 3 to 5 years. Regular, normal tennis players, I should add to that, all right? Normal tennis players have their prime 3 to 5 years. Look at Medvedev, look at Tsitsipas, look at Thiem. There you have it, 3 to 5 years. Djokovic, Nadal and Federer, they are not normal tennis players. Their peaks has been 10 to 15 years. 10 to 15 years. They are not normal, all right? You cannot compare those three, the three greatest tennis players of all time, with players who are normal, which is Medvedev, Thiem, Tsitsipas. Medvedev in a decline. Tsitsipas in a decline. Thiem, he's retired. So, and let's see which kind of where will we put Alcaraz and Sinner. Will Alcaraz and Sinner be the new Medvedev, the new Tsitsipas, the new Thiem, and also have their peak between 3 to 5 years? Or will Alcaraz and Sinner be the new Federer, the new Djokovic, the new Nadal? I don't think Alcaraz and Sinner are the new Medvedev, the new Thiem, the new Tsitsipas, because they are already multiple Grand Slam champions, something that you cannot call Thiem, Medvedev, and Tsitsipas. At least Medvedev and Thiem, they at least have won one Grand Slam title in their careers, so they can at least call themselves Grand Slam champions. Tsitsipas has never won one, so I think that, I know, because Alcaraz has already, for God's sakes, won 4 Grand Slam titles already as 21 years old. Sinner has won already 2 Grand Slam titles as 23 years old and just had one of the best seasons ever. For sure, top 15 best season ever. For sure. All right? So, with 8 titles, where he won 6 big titles, if I'm not mistaken, 3 Masters, 2 Grand Slams, and 1 ATP Tour Finals. There you have 6 big titles. I think that Alcaraz and Sinner will not have their peak between 3 to 5 years. They will have it higher than Tsitsipas, Medvedev, and Thiem. But I don't think they will have the peak like Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer between 10 to 15 years. I think they will put themselves in between there. In between. They will have a peak between 5 to 10 years. That is my feeling. So, anyway, let's talk about this topic. Who will win the Grand Slam tournament in 2025? I had 1.5 right in last year's prediction. Let's see if I will do better or worse about the next year. A player that I will of course mention, it is pretty obvious, it is Jannik Sinner. I will have tremendously difficult seeing if Jannik Sinner plays the 2025 season without winning one single Grand Slam title. Let's face it, he's the current world number 1. He just had one of the best seasons ever where he won over 90% of his matches. You cannot count and mention many players during the tennis era that we have seen for over 70 to 100 years where we have had many tennis players who has had over 90% in winning matches. You don't have many tennis players who has done that feat. Of course, Djokovic has done it, Federer has done it, to mention some, McEnroe has done it, to mention some, but you don't have many, all right? You don't have many. And Sinner just had a season where he won over 90% of his matches. He won 73 matches in 2024 and lost only 6, and 3 of them came to Carlos Alcaraz. So Sinner will for sure, if he doesn't get suspended, because we all know that he has that doping case against him, we all know what has happened to him there. He's waiting for what answer and decision what will happen with him there. And if he doesn't get injured, Sinner is just such great ball striker, with hitting the ball so heavy with margins. I don't know if I've ever seen a tennis player like Sinner that hits the ball this big with margins. Yeah, I've seen Federer, I've seen Jannik Sinner, I've seen Del Potro, I've seen Alcaraz hit the ball big, huge, but not with margins. All right, Sinner, he's hitting the ball huge, and he's doing that with high percentage of shots. That's what makes him so special. The other players I just mentioned, Thiem, Del Potro, Federer, they also are hitting the ball huge during the years, but not with high percentage of shots. Alcaraz also, he also can hit the ball huge, but these players, Federer, Thiem, Del Potro, Alcaraz, they can be unforced error machines. They can defeat themselves, and they just You don't need to have the best day in your office to beat them, because they can beat themselves. Sinner doesn't beat himself. He didn't lose one single match in 2024 in straight sets. The only player that has happened before, I think, is Federer, if I'm not mistaken. Federer. So that is a proof how hard he is to beat. Of course, he is now the world number one. Coaches, players, analysts, you name it, baby. They will analyze him and they will try to come into his skin and to prepare as best game plans as possible to beat him. So of course, when you are, everybody will try to get him. So Sinner will not have an easy time. Will he do as great of a season in 2025 like he did in 2024? Will he do a second year where he will win over 90% of matches? To be quite honest, I think it will be difficult. I think it will be difficult to have 2 straight seasons where he will win over 90% of matches. It will be difficult. Federer won, I believe, 2004, 2005, and 2006, if I'm not mistaken, over 90% of his matches, 3 consecutive years. Not even Djokovic, if I'm not mistaken, has won back-to-back seasons where he has won 90% of his tennis matches. I believe Djokovic won over 90% of his tennis matches in 2011, and I think he did that in 2015 as well. So he has done it 2 times, Novak Djokovic, but he didn't do that in consecutive years. So will Sinner do it back-to-back, winning matches over 90%? I think it will be difficult. But for sure, he will be between 85 to 90. Between 85 to 90. I think he will be there. Anyway, Sinner will for sure win 1 or several Grand Slam titles. He's won. The second player, I believe, that will win Grand Slam titles, 1 or more, it is Carlos Alcaraz. All right? Let's face it, Carlos Alcaraz, some people around the world and some tennis analysts as well are calling Carlos Alcaraz inconsistent. Oh dear God, show mercy. How can you call a player inconsistent when he's winning over 80% of his tennis matches in 3 consecutive years? He won over 80% of his tennis matches 2022. He won over 80% of his tennis matches 2023. He won 80% of his tennis matches 2024 as well. So he has won 3 consecutive years over 80% of his matches. Can we call that inconsistent? Hell no! But we are prepared. We are expecting a much more from him, and we are comparing him with his peer, which is Jannik Sinner. So, and if you compare him with Sinner in 2024, yeah, he did the worst season than Sinner. Of course, Sinner won 8 titles. Carlos won 4. Sinner won over 90% of his tennis matches. Carlos was not winning over 90% of his tennis matches. He won only barely over 80%. So, of course, but in the end of the day, they both won 2 Grand Slam titles each. And what is the most important in tennis? It is the Grand Slams, baby. When you will retire with tennis, when you will not play tennis anymore, you will be remembered how many slams you won. They don't care. Do you know how many slams? Do you know how many Masters Pistol Pete won? Do you know how many Masters Andrew Agassi won? No, freaking no, you don't. But you know that Agassi won 8 Grand Slam titles. But you know that Sampras won 14 Grand Slam titles. That's what the tennis players will be remembered for. They will not be remembered for how many Masters they won, how many year ends they had, how many weeks as world number 1 they had. Even though those are also important. Year end number 1, how many weeks you have been world number 1. How many Masters we have won. Absolutely, they are important. I'm not saying that they are not important at all, but compare that as how many Grand Slams you have won, they are not important so much. So that is what you will be remembered for. And when we will look back in the 2024 season, 5-10 years from now, we will remember Alcaraz won Wimbledon and French Open, Sinner won Australian Open and US Open. There you have it, baby. So yes, Sinner did a better season than Alcaraz, absolutely. But at the end of the day, they both won 2 Grand Slams each. Period. Anyway, Alcaraz is too good of a player, too powerful of a player, too talented of a player, the fastest tennis player on earth, without any shadow of a doubt. I will be surprised if he didn't win Grand Slam titles in 2025. I will be surprised. He is that kind of a player, I talked about this before, he can take the racket out of your hands. Sinner cannot take your racket out of your hands like Alcaraz can do. Alcaraz is such a shot maker. You could just see that Beijing final, one of the best matches of the 2024 season. Even though it was not a Grand Slam final or a Master 1000 final, it was a 500 class final match. You could see that in that third set tiebreak. Sinner was 3-love up in the third set tiebreak. What does Alcaraz do? Bam, 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 bam. 7 straight points. He wins that third set tiebreak 7-3. He just took the racket out of Sinner's hands. He just did that. How did he do that? With unbelievable shot making skills. That's what Alcaraz can do to his opponents. That's why Alcaraz is that good. That's why Alcaraz is a player to count on even in the 2025 season. And if that was not enough, who gave Sinner the most losses in 2024? Alcaraz was responsible in giving Sinner 50% of his losses in 2024. Out of 6 matches that Sinner lost in 2024, Alcaraz gave Sinner 3 of those losses. And 2 of them was in pretty big events like the Indian Wells semi-final and French Open semi-final as well. And also that Beijing final, one of the best matches of the year. So Alcaraz, I truly believe he will be one of the Grand Slam winners in 2025. Alright, then to be quite honest, besides these 2, I don't see any other winning majors. I think that these 2 will win all 4 majors. Then, how they will split them? Will it be 2-all like it was in 2024? Or will Sinner win 3 and Alcaraz 1? Or Alcaraz 3 and Sinner 1? Neither of them will win 4 of them, obviously. I will be shocked if one of these win all 4 of them. But we have Djokovic, the greatest tennis player of all time. He's 37 years old. He will play the Australian Open next month. Not only him, but all the other players as well. And he has won that event 10 times, but the dude is 37 years old. I will never have Djokovic as my number 1 pick ever in a Grand Slam tournament again. Last time I had him as my number 1 pick was at the Australian Open 2024, and he proved me wrong there. And he needs to have a tremendously good luck to win a major in his career. He will never win Alcaraz. He will never beat Alcaraz and Sinner back to back. Never. In a best of 5 set match. Never. Never, never, never. He just will not do it. Okay? That is too big of a mountain for him to climb. He will not be able to climb that mountain. Will he beat one of them in a best of 5 set match? Yeah, he will do maybe. And if he does that, it will be most likely Alcaraz, not Sinner. Not Sinner. So, and he's not world number 3 or world number 4 anymore. So he still is top 10 in the world, but his ranking, his seed, his draws will be more difficult going forward. So I don't know how Djokovic will be able to win one more major in his career. If he does that, I will not be shocked. You can never be shocked when a 24 times Grand Slam champion gets it to 25 Grand Slam title and wins one more in his career. But I don't think he will do it. I don't think he will do it. Medvedev, I think he's on decline. Tsitsipas, he's on decline. Zverev, yeah, Zverev is not on a decline like Medvedev and like Tsitsipas, but I don't trust Zverev mentally. He has improved his forehand, he has improved his serve. He's not doing double faults like anymore, because before he could be a double fault machine. That is, he has really improved those elements of his game, which he needs to do. But if it is 5-all in a 5th set, can we trust in Zverev's? Can we trust Zverev mentally that he will be able to hang on and win his first ever major? I need to see it to believe it. I need to see it to believe it. He can do it, but I'm not counting with it. So bottom line is, I believe that Alcaraz and Sinner will win all the majors in 2025. That is my feeling. That's it. I don't have huge respect for these 90 born players, which according to me are the biggest lost generation that we have seen in tennis. We have only 2 players who has won Grand Slams that were born in the 90s, which is Medvedev won US Open 2021 and Thiem won US Open 2020. And one of them has already retired, which is Dominic Thiem, and the other is on a decline, which is Daniil Medvedev. So I believe that exactly like in 2024 where Sinner and Alcaraz won all the majors. I think it will be the same scenario into the 2025 season as well. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and next time. Peace!